And we're back with one take. I'm Jeremy Greene, and today we're just gonna paint some mountains and some sky, and so we'll see what happens. All right, here we go. So yeah, it's been a while since we've done the show. It's really important what I've been doing. I've been painting. That's what I've been doing. Lots of this. I was looking for inspiration and just watching old master painters on YouTube. It was pretty great. Lots of Paul Cézanne, Claude Monet, good stuff. Start with the sky. Lately I've been starting with white and ending with, my darker colors. I guess that's how I always paint, but now we're rocking. When I was in France, we went to the Musée d'Orsay. Claude Monet has a lot of works there. Vincent van Gogh has a lot of works there. Edward Manet's got some works there. France was everything I wanted it to be, and it was perfect. I guess that's the reason I haven't done the show in a while. Because I went to France and I was just kind of trying to revitalize my skills and what I do. So, yeah. Right? Does that make sense? Georgia O'Keeffe inspires me because I like her imagery a lot. And she did a lot of stuff like in New York City with big buildings. And I don't know, I like her use of color and her use of... just paints what she saw, and that's something great. A lot of artists, I don't know, they don't seem to do that as much. Her transitioning from New York to New Mexico was a good call because New Mexico is nice. It's nice and quiet, and the weather is almost perfect there. I read a book about Claude Monet a while after I got back from France. It was called Mad Enchantment. That's how I want to live my life, like an old impressionist painter who doesn't care about anything but painting, because really nothing else matters. You paint your life and what you see. I guess my work will be my legacy when I die. These mountains it's old history, The people say that Summit County is changing, and I say, no, it's not. The mountains are still here. Yeah, there's more condos and there's more buildings and there's more stuff, but it's always been like that. It's always been a crazy place with lots of people in the winter, and summer's just kicked in, so that means lots of people again. Our break is over, right? When I paint, I usually look for one area, and then I lock that in, I set up, I lay out my colors, I get my brushes out, and I just start, and then I stop. That's my process of painting. Right now, I'm trying to differentiate the planes and the colors, and the what's going on out there, and it's just, I don't know. I think I need to use more color all over and not try to capture exactly what I see, because that's been done. Maybe not from this exact spot, but living in an era of where everyone thinks they're an artist. You need to coming up with something new is a little tricky. I want my art not to be like everyone else's art, because that's no fun, I'm just a little old rain cloud soaring over the honey tree. In my inspirational quest today, I was kind of thinking, I don't know if that's really what all that stuff looked like exactly. Well, George O'Keeffe, when we were there at Ghost Ranch or whatever, me and my mom, we were always hanging out doing art stuff, and George O'Keeffe said she paints what she sees. And the flowers, people interpret George O'Keeffe's flowers to be naughty. But she didn't see it that way at all, which is interesting to hear that, from the artist's point of view. Got a lot of yellow left. What I like to do when I'm painting is I don't like to get new colors out because this stuff's expensive, like really expensive. So I just use up whatever I have. Well, I was never into oils so much until I went to school at CSU. My painting one class was on oils, and I was like, oh no. I was like, I don't like oil paints. But I learned how to use them, and I'm like, no, it's all I use. I cannot stand acrylics. Oh, watercolors. I love watercolors. I was actually thinking, I have a canvas in my bag I brought for a watercolor in case I didn't want to do this, but I'd always rather oil paint. So I get paint donated to me on occasion, and when that happens, I feel like wasting as much paint as I possibly can at one time. So that's what I do. And that also goes back to college. I remember one night I was staying over in the studio and I was painting all night long, and like many pieces I got done. But that's when I learned how to paint, was when I just started using tons of paint and just squeezing it out and not mixing it on the canvas or on the palette before. Yeah, well, texture is the coolest, like, especially when you do what I've been doing lately. Like, I've been going over my old works that I'm not really happy with gesso, and just making new canvases, basically. Because, I'm pouring them weird, so I run out of stuff to paint on, so I just repaint over stuff. And the white background was developed by the Impressionists to enhance the purity of their colors. Or kind of like, have you ever looked at like really old paintings? They don't look necessarily like super bright and vivid because they used kind of an umber or a black. Black was also a popular color to use as gesso. The Impressionists really started off this whole white thing, so their colors could be more brilliant and more vivid, and to capture the luster of nature. And my first painting I did when I was in high school. Like, I had done it before, but I didn't enjoy it. Just because I couldn't do it. That's why I always worked with pencil and stuff, because paints are very unpredictable, especially when you're not really accustomed to working with them. So, I didn't like it. So I never really did it. And I remember that first painting, I was trying to treat it like it was a drawing. And just draw out the little shapes, little cartoon character or whatever. And you can't do that when you're painting. You're not drawing. You're not drawing at all. You're smushing color around, you're putting it wherever you want. Okay, so I've got it pretty much filled in now, right? I'm further smooshing the colors together and just kind of filling in the spots that are still white, because that's annoying. When your goal is to fill in the entire canvas and there's all these little spots, you just go back over them and then the colors blend and it looks fancy, and like I know what I'm doing or something. Yeah, that I'm kind of trying to create that kind of shimmering of the clouds and the weirdness. And when I gessoed over this canvas, I had painted it with oils over what was already there. I gotta get up real close because I can't see. Ooh. It does work for me though, because I don't have peripheral vision, so I am technically partially blind. When I get up real close, I can see all the little spots. I'm partially blind because when I got hurt, I injured my occipital lobe in my brain, in the back of the brain there that controls your vision. And when I woke up from my coma, they were doing vision tests on me, and they're like, tell me when you can see my hand. And I'm just like, but if you look straight ahead and you hold both your hands out to the side, out to the side, and bring them in slowly until you can see them. I don't see my stuff till it's about there. So I just see right down the middle of the barrel. That's what I see. And I take that and I do this because this is a safe activity for Jeremy. That's pretty good. Nice. I know a painting is complete when it's all filled in and I'm happy with what's there. It's all right. Thanks for tuning in to One Take. See you next time. We're gonna do this right now. That's word. Word up. That's word. Word up.